Hello, Alaska. We just want to introduce you to our family. My name is Jim. Over here is James, my other son Grant, my wife Stephanie. Behind me is my son Josh, and over there is Ethan. So the vision when we got here was to start 10 churches on the peninsula, and our method that we would do that by was by multiplying. So we would start one church and raise up leaders and send those leaders out to plant churches. And so that was our strategy for doing that. But at the same time, we wanted to get our kids trained in how to share the gospel really well. I have four boys and a daughter. And so we got them involved in Child Evangelism Fellowship, and they started learning how to share Christ with their friends and in these after-school clubs. And through that experience, they began to invite us and our church to go into the villages here in Alaska.
Recently, we got to go to a small village of about 300 people on the southwestern coast of Alaska called Good News Bay.
We thought, hey, we go out there, we do a Good News Club, share the gospel to the kids, and then we could do a basketball camp. And so, because that's a good way to get all of the kids in to, make relationships with the kids, but also we would share the gospel with the kids. Like, we would do basketball, then we had to have a session of sharing the gospel and do some more basketball. And so
the beautiful thing about that is the Great Commission tells us to go and make disciples. It doesn't tell us to go and plant churches. But when we're in the process of making disciples, guess what happens? Churches get planted, so it's a byproduct of it. And so our strategy going into the village isn't to go plant a church. Our strategy is to go make disciples. But we know the outcome of that will be churches. But our goal is to multiply. We think in the end, it's more about building God's kingdom than it is about building any one particular church. And we think our influence can actually go much farther in terms of size than it ever could by just planting one church. We believe through multiplication and the raising up of leaders, we can actually extend that way beyond that. And we think now that the Lord is extending that not only here on the peninsula, but into the villages as well, and potentially even outside of Alaska.